2016 garden walk begins, of course, with volunteer squash. None of the squash we planted did anything, but the seeds from the compost pile produced this stand of half a dozen squashes and really awesome ground cover for the alley. The one sedum that we planted in Chris's alley ground cover is blooming. Catmint and yellow asters, golden asters are doing well. Great blue lobelia. Blue sage.
There's a great blue lobelia right
Great
there.
blue lobelia doing pretty well. Gracie Ann is doing pretty well. Gracie, wait, is that right? Annie Grace. Wildflowers planted from seed doing well. What am I missing?
These are penstemon from James and Jill.
Oh, penstemon from Jill. Okay, cool.
And here is some Sullivan's milkweed that we are trying to establish, and that's the only one that's surviving. Oh, these two so far. So we'll keep trying.
Hello, kitty. I didn't see you there. We've got some partridge peas showing a little bit of woodiness, which is good. Hopefully they'll be resilient for next year. Rhubarb doing well. Maybe we'll have some next year. More golden aster.
In the back is red bee balm in its first year, so hopefully it will be taller next year.
We've got some grasses cut from the front that you can kind of see back there. We've got Rudbeckia for days, Joe Pye weed for days, and looks like another great blue lobelia.
2 or 3.
2 or 3. We might try to accentuate. What's this kind of milkweed?
Common milkweed?
Common milkweed. It looks like a tree. It's amazing. Fountain was successful this year. Strawberries were successful. We lost half of our new flexible hose. More.
There is a milkweed here as well. We'll try to keep alive.
More milkweed here, turning purple. This is a kind of phlox, wild phlox. Actually doing pretty well. We've had a lot of rain.
Wild blue phlox.
Been saying for about 3 years now that we need to split this hosta. We need to move this Rudbeckia to make room for the lupins behind it, and we need to move this little tree, which will probably go somewhere in this line. There's another one back here. And volunteer tomatoes seem to be everywhere. There's some in our compost bin too. More milkweed.
Tomato and more milkweed, a different kind.
And we've got some bergamot that's going nuts. This is transplanted. This is all first year bergamot that was transplanted from last year. Tomatoes in our garden. Got a few. Had trouble getting them to set fruit, but now all of a sudden we've got a whole bunch of late fruit that isn't going to turn red. Got carrots and beets here that got planted way too late to do much of anything. The green beans did pretty well. We have 2 different kinds of bush beans here, did well. We've got beets and spinach here that did not do well at all. Here we've got the usual suspects. Oh, we've got this grass here that we're not sure what to do with.
Get a close-up of the head and maybe we can look it up.
Yeah. And more, it looks like more great blue. Oh, that's the cardinal flower right there.
Yeah.
Hiding under the bergamot. And we've got some asters that sort of, I think I might have thrown this seed down in Chris's yard. That's growing nicely. This I transplanted last year. from underneath the lilac is doing okay, not great. More bergamot. And finally, we've got a few little squashes here that didn't really grow that well. Not sure this is the place for squash. Culver's root, which has been problematic. More Culver's root that's just totally black. Isn't doing much of anything.
Can I point out?
Mm-hmm.
There is a rhubarb here from Amy LaFrance that we will need to ensure gets some space next year.
Yeah, it looks like it's not doing that great.
It did great, but it was the first year, so we need to clear it.
Mosquito bite. We've got our basement's finished. There's our egress window, which we were enjoying at night.
Oh, we had talked about not gardening, but filling some of that.
Yeah. This sedum is just lovely. Stone crop. What kind of grass would you call this?
Maybe it's prairie drop seed.
Mm-hmm. Had some spiderworts, and we've got some tiger lilies. This grass is the stock that was split. We put some of this in the back and some in the front. Came back nicely. It's just what kind of coneflower is this called again?
Pale purple.
Pale purple coneflower. This is everywhere now. It started out underneath the hazel nuts.
Is it foam flower?
Foam flower? I don't think it's foam flower, but it's doing massively well.
I can't remember the name of it.
There's got to be a take somewhere.
I'll look while you go on.
We've got asters everywhere now too. Here's some more of that stuff growing into the trees.
Don't remember.
And we've got more. This is kind of a. I forget what this is, a grass. Kind of red stems.
This is a grass, but it's not doing very well. It's Sidotes grama, I believe, and it's not doing anything, so we may want to put that up. And this is more prairie drop seed at my feet.
And in the front we've got rough blazing star, which is gorgeous. We moved some of that to the side yard. It did well. We've got wild petunias here and here. Some prairie drop seed. And we were thinking of impregnating this area with some sort of annual wildflower seed, just so there's more pollinators in the front, because these raised beds didn't do that great this year. We did okay. The pole beans never set fruit until the very end, and only a little bit. We planted the lettuce, spinach, beets, and carrots too late. These carrots are going to be okay, though. These carrots aren't actually too bad. There's actually some halfway decent ones. I mean, that's typical. It's not very good, but there's a few that are better than that. Over here we've got cucumbers, zucchini, hyacinth. Nice little follower on those. This aster that's going nuts. We've got a goldenrod of some kind here that I'm not sure we planted. It's beautiful though. And we've got gray-headed cornflower in the back. We propped some of that up. It was really helpful. So you can see some of it still falling down. Our prairie fire crabapple tree is going good. What am I missing? Onion, the onion flower is called. Nodding pink.
Nodding purple, pink onion.
Yeah. And then nodding purple onion. And then purple poppy mallow. That's going to be alright. This is going to be a really haphazard video. And then we've got pussy toes that we transplanted from the other side. It's not as prolific as last year. Maybe it doesn't like it so wet.
But let's remember, this is the silky aster. It blooms in late August, September. I would wait for it every year, but now it's finally almost done. This
is a grass that was transplanted and is going to be fine. That's a squash we planted, and that's as big as it got. The grapes on Cinnamon Orion's side are doing really well, but they don't want them, so we're not sure what's going to happen to them. Because we're kind of done planting. Our grapes did really well. We got like almost 50 jars of jam.
Here's more blue sage. put a smooth aster back here that got chewed off a few times, so these may not make it till next year. We'll see. That looks like the rabbits like those. They keep chewing them.
We've got more squash here, which turned out to be decorative rather than functional, but I kind of like the way it looked. And this here is purple prairie clover that we planted in lieu of these golden asters that used to be in the front for God knows what reason. And then this stuff here is the first thing that blooms in the spring.
There's also a common blue star here, which we planted this year and has been somewhat crowded out, so we'll have to protect this next year too.
Okay. And then we've got what kind of grass is this?
Don't know.
Could be a volunteer.
It's red again. Red tips. We'll
Yeah, it's the stuff that's over there. And then what's this stuff called again? Is that
curry smoke.
Curry smoke. It's the first thing that blooms in the spring. Here's more of that senior moment. It's called this one, purple prairie clover. And then
Did you get the pen stem up here?
where? Oh, there's pen stem in here. Is that
This
James?
is Small's pen stem, and it's a different one that we have in the back, probably shorter.
We have some stuff in the front that's interesting. We've got heath aster. Some more of this. Can't remember what it is, but it's really gorgeous, prolific. Prairie drop seed. This
This
is
was heath aster.
right. We got that. This is wild hazelnut. And then we've got our yew. It's doing well. And then Chris's plum and cherry trees. Cherries look like they're doing stuff now. Different cherries. Plums are kind of done. Our aspens are 40 feet high. Let's just go down the side. Butterfly weed is doing well, except for the bugs, which seem to be everywhere. Trying to escape my
Getting
hands.
bigger. Growing up,
Yeah.
those bugs.
Crawling around on me. And we've got, this is the foam flower right here, which is struggling because it doesn't seem to get a lot of light and it doesn't get any water because we've got this eave here with a gutter, so I have to remember to give this a little bit more love. Going down the side, we've got zigzag goldenrod, is that what it's called? And we've got a really interesting variety of aster here, which is already going to seed. Oh, here we go. Here's the tag. Zigzag goldenrod is what it is, and this is called big leaf aster. It's got that planted, interspersed all the way up and down the side here, which is a lot of fun. And that is it, my friends.